My name is Suresh Grover. I live in Southall, and it's likely that I'll die in Southall. This is a place that has been built by the black communities who came into the country to repair a war-torn economy. We worked in the foundries, we worked in the National Health Service, we worked on the buses, and we created towns that were rubbles, dilapidated, and ghettos. We have a history of changing things for good. Let me just tell you about the resistance in this town and what Tudor Rose means for us. In the 70s, and I'm that old, I can remember what happened. Many of us here have the strategic skills to win campaigns and to ensure that Tudor Rose will not be demolished. I'm totally convinced that if we join together, develop a movement to save Tudor Rose, Ealing Council will relent and will be bulldozed over by our demands and our strength, rather than the building being demolished. In the 70s, we had skinheads here with their baseball bats, beating and racially attacking communities and meetings. We had the first racist murder of a young boy called Gurdeep Singh Chagga just 50 yards from here. And that galvanized young people into creating a Southall youth movement, which became a focus of fighting against racism. 79, we had the Special Patrol Group here protecting the National Front who occupied the Southall Town Hall. We campaigned, we mobilized. 340 of us got charged. 800 of us got arrested. Misty in Roots and People's Unite, which were one of the main groups in Southall, suffered horrendous injuries. Their building was ransacked by the Special Patrol Group. They went into the soundproofing system and got rid of the soundproofing system and ripped it apart by razor blades. Every person who came out of the Six Parkview building had to face a gauntlet of police officers and were truncheoned. Blair Peach was murdered. His killers are still on the loose. Clarence Baker, a member and manager of Misty in Roots reggae group, was beaten up so badly that he spent 3 months in intensive care down in the hospital. A year and a half later, in 1981, the skinheads returned. We mobilized and we burned down Hambro Tavern, and we haven't seen a single skinhead in Southall since then. That was a combined resistance by young Asians and Afro-Caribbeans and white people in this area. As the director of the monitoring group, I supported and we supported the family of Stephen Lawrence. I was the coordinator for the Stephen Lawrence family campaign. He was killed on 22nd of April 1993. And Doreen and Neville and I went to Notting Hill Carnival with a petition asking people to sign a petition for a public inquiry. Do you know how many people signed? 25. Nobody believed that we could take on the police and win. But we campaigned, we organized. Doreen and Neville attended marches. We went to extraordinary lengths to expose police racism. We had the first public judicial inquiry into why the police failed. And that inquiry, called the Stephen Lawrence Inquiry, in 1999, under Sir William Macpherson, concluded that the reason why they failed Stephen Lawrence's family and were unable to convict the murderers was because of their incompetence, because of lack of leadership in high police officials, and because of institutional racism, what we call systemic racism. Guess what? We convicted the murderers, 2 of them out of 5, in 2012 because of the momentum that we created and a movement we created to get those convictions done. But here is the truth. Since 1999, despite finding the police to be institutionally racist, there have been something like 1,571 deaths in police custody. 25% of them are black. Yet we've had no conviction of any police officers. What we need to do in Salvo is what we've done always. We have to have a strategy where people become fearless and audacious to save this building. It's not going to go away because we hope that it'll go away. We have to organize and come together. It's exactly the situation we faced at Southall Town Hall a couple of years ago, where the council had sold the town hall to a religious body. It doesn't make a difference to us who it was sold to, but we argued that the town hall belongs to everyone as a public space and utility. We took them to court. And you know what the court found? The courts found that the council was institutionally racist because they did not do the equality impact assessment and how the closure of that town hall would affect the black and the brown communities in Southall. We won, and we saved the Southall town hall. There are other centers in Southall that are perishing because of the way that the council is dealing with the local population. But Tudor Rose is a totally different issue. Tudor Rose is named after black people even before slavery, when black individuals were part of the Tudor family as equals. That's why it's called Tudor Rose. That history is really important for us. And what it signifies in Southall as a black-led managed building, the only one in Southall and West London, where its founders and managers have spent millions of pounds to renovate it, despite facing hurdles from the council, who took away their license and created a negative stereotype of what black buildings are about. They took away their license by using racist terms and racist language at the council meetings. But Ursula persevered. She has the strength. She has the determination. She's a black woman who's fighting this corner. And we cannot let her lose. We have to create the same strategy, the same skills, the same campaign, the same fearless audacity, audacious in our demands to make sure that we'll win. And there's a saying in our communities: first they laugh at you, then they ridicule you, then they criminalize you, and then you win. It's exactly what we did in the Lawrence case, and we've done in other cases. I have no doubt we'll win if the people, especially black and brown communities and trade unionists, get behind Ursula and her team of formidable excellence. We are proud to be associated with Tudor Rose, and it is over our dead bodies that this building will be demolished. And that's the demand, that's the tenacity, that's the resilience that we have over decades we need to create in developing this campaign. I am shocked I'm not really surprised, but it shocks me that the leader of the council can come to us and say, I now understand clearly what you've been saying. I don't know how clear we can be. We've been being, for the last year we've been saying, this building shouldn't be demolished, this building should be demolished. And you know what's happening? They do not hear black people saying that they want their building. It's simply not registering in their heads, because they don't expect black communities or black people to run buildings that are successful and inspirational in this town. So they don't hear you. And we have to be loud, we have to be tenacious, and we have to be formidable. We can't let go. If the Black Lives Matter in this town, the first course of action is to save this building. Thank you.